Hello everyone, I am going to show you TidyCal today, which has been the scheduling software that I have used since leaving Calendly. Now, I was a very avid user of Calendly before it blew up as much as it has lately, but I was introduced to a site called AppSumo several years ago, maybe since 2019 or so. And it wasn't until recently when I was enrolled in my friend's the Elite Way program that she reminded me of it. And as an Aquarian, as somebody who is a lover of technology but still remains on the conservative side as far as not trying software that's too brand new, but also being willing to kind of dive in and be among those willing to provide feedback and test out the software. I do a lot of remote administrative and operational tasks. I do a lot of managing of projects and helping out small business owners, as well as managing my own business and projects. So I have quite a bit of experience trying out different software, seeing what works and what doesn't, and fitting many different types of needs. And so here I wanted to share with you a way to hopefully save some money by being able to ditch some of the subscriptions for software that, again, may not be perfect, but offers just enough that I can get by with running my business. Granted, again, there are some things that are deeply inconvenient and will take a little bit longer, but I have been trying to train myself off of the whole hyper convenience and everything needs to, run perfect and smooth, especially when we're talking about a bunch of subscriptions stacking up. Some of us, especially as small business owners, know that it costs a lot and the systems really are not in our favor. They definitely favor large corporations, and it can be very difficult and challenging to run a small business, whether it's capacity because you need to work a full-time job to be able to sustain yourself while starting your business, or it can be challenging in terms of the budget and not wanting to, put too much money into it. But then that also means that you have to take on more of that personal labor without being able to hire help. So, I'm hoping that this is going to help you with saving a little bit of money and give you some honest feedback as far as what I think about this. And I'd say I've maybe been using it I'd actually say I'm almost coming up to a year. So this is the tier 1 on AppSumo, where you can actually get the lifetime. Again, lifetime, not monthly, not annually. You can get this entire software, including any updates on this tier, for $29 on AppSumo. Now, I've tried a couple of times to apply for their affiliate program. I got rejected because I didn't quite have an audience specifically around business services, but this is me getting this off the ground, finally putting some attention into this because our small business owners, our freelancers, y'all need support. And so I'm here to help you. Again, this is going to be a review of TidyCal from AppSumo. But something to note about AppSumo, if you do decide to go onto it, is that not all software is gonna make it like longevity wise. So a lot of the software that I test, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of reviews, I check how long it's been around, and this particular one I've already known at least 1 or 2 people who have used it, and so they had some good things to say about it, so I decided to try it out myself. And again, I've been using this for 1 year. So as you can see here, there is the agency plan, which they launched within the last 6 months or so. And so this would be the one upgrade that I can do that I haven't needed yet, but I will likely get it at some point. And again, they're very generous here. You get to try it for free for 30 days. But this one is more for teams and things that I don't necessarily need right now. So some of the really positive things I'd like to say are it's really hard to beat $29 lifetime deal, including updates. and I'm willing to undergo, things taking a little bit longer, or still needing to give some feedback for things to get better. But $29, really hard to beat. So that is one of the biggest pros. The other thing is, as you can see here, you can actually create date polls. So this does come with that. Default availability and booking. So let's talk about our booking types first. You also do have a public page. So you can see here, mine is tidycal.com/symphonic-alignment. So if I were to click on that, anything that is marked as a public listing will actually show up there. A lot of my listings I like to keep private, where I just specifically send those out. One of the things I dislike the most is the inability to categorize things. I know Calendly had colors where you can make things in different colors. You can at least visually separate them. Haven't used it in a while, so I'm not sure if they've added any folder features. But in here, everything can become a mess, and so there's drag and drop features to reorganize things. But for someone who has several different types of listings and businesses, some are paid, some are not, some are public, some are not, it is so hard to sort through them. They're really, or the features to sort through are pretty much non-existent, to the point where I need to just remember the names of some of my bookings in order to do a control find and search a keyword. So again, super inconvenient, and probably the most inconvenient thing that I found. But other than that, it is pretty user-friendly, very easy. I change and create new bookings all the time, but it does tell you how many views as well as your conversion rates. There's a really easy way to get the link for sharing. You just have a toggle to enable or disable the events or the booking types, and then you have quite a few editing capabilities. So really simple, create booking type. This opens it up. Got your title, you get to put a unique booking link here, your description that also has formatting capabilities, which is nice. You can, on this particular one, there is a free version, but I believe I might have up to 10 calendars on this $29 version. So here I just have it set to using my primary calendar. Then all of your typical details such as the duration. You can hook up your different telecommunications or video conferencing. You can add a custom link, phone call, etc. You can also connect to Stripe and charge for the bookings or for PayPal, which is really nice. I do tend to create my payment links directly through Stripe, however, because I do like to have a sliding scale, and within this you can only select one single price. Some of the positives, you can create different, or you have different options as far as how far in advance they can book, booking notices, manually approving, ignoring calendar conflicts, setting maximum bookings. The one problem is that it's only this particular type. So let's just say you have 3 different booking types. It will not give you the option to set the maximum bookings per day across all of the different types. And so you can have 3 different types, and let's just say you have a maximum booking of 1 per day. That means that for that entire day, if you did that same option or setting across all 3, then you could potentially have a maximum of 3 bookings per day of the different types. But one of the positive things that I do like is offering as a multi-session package. So you can choose how many bookings they can do in one go. One negative, again, is that this does not work across the other booking types. So let's just say, like, I have different lengths of tarot sessions, and I have 15, 30, and 50 minutes. Someone might want one 30-minute and one 50-minute. Well, they would have to go in and book separately because it's not exactly a cart. It is just within this booking type. So that only works if you have a set, or if it's typical for maybe only like a 1 hour meeting, and then they would be booking multiple meetings at 1 hour. You have your guest settings. You can customize your questions, different types of questions. You can set up your notifications, which is really nice. You do have a couple of things that you need the agency plan, or it is not quite at the scale of Calendly. But I haven't really had any issues with it. And again, there have been some glitches here and there, but it's been really minimal where I haven't really had any issues with that. I would say the biggest thing that may have been fixed is occasionally I used to have some bookings not add, or if I booked with someone, I would manually need to add it to my calendar. It wouldn't do it automatically. I don't know if that's fixed. That's something that I should actually check in on. But you actually have to go into the email and click add to calendar. So that can potentially cause no-shows or people forgetting. Booking page theme, I will show you that. This is that private mode that I mentioned, and then you can actually list things in the public directory, which is kind of cool. I really haven't done this, but you can definitely do this. I don't know how many people get any types of sales from this, but who knows? You never know. So teams, again, I do not have this, but this is for collective, round robin, and I'm not sure what the managing booking types is, but I would imagine it has to do with the team. We have our date polls, so you can create your poll, very similar, title, unique URL, and you're just going to add the different dates and times. This is also really inconvenient that it is not a calendar view, so you do have to go in and manually type in all of the all of the dates and times. So it's not just a dragon pull kind of situation in other calendars. So if you say had quite a few time slots in one day, multiple days, you can see how this can be very tedious and exhausting. And so you do have a duplicate feature, but still, if you wanted to do, say, 20 different options, you can see how long that would take you to manually do it. So that is definitely a drawback. One other thing that I've seen is, let's say you have 3 people voting on the poll, and then that's the one that you select. It will send separate emails to you as the person creating the poll for each person that you are technically scheduling with. So that can also be pretty inconvenient. You can set your default availability, but unlike Calendly, you only get one. So for me, I've kind of opted in for specific dates, but again, this can get very tedious with my calendar because there are some limitations that I am no longer using Google Workspace, and because I opted in for encrypted services and using Proton, I really am pretty limited on being able to connect to my calendar in the way that I would need it to. So again, this is also a huge setback. This can take a lot of time as well, of manually entering in all of my availability. And yeah, so that's just something that I'm kind of dealing with right now, and I'm just hoping that things will, features will be improved, because I would really love to just see a drag and drop feature rather than needing to really go in and manually enter everything in. And then last, it's pretty simple to see your upcoming bookings. You can export them into your calendar. Ooh, I have not seen this calendar view before, so that is even better. So again, this was not here before, and that I know of, and this makes it really nice. I wonder if yeah, I don't see that anywhere else, but well, that's nice to be able to see. So it does look like it defaults to the list view, but I do like that I am able to see this. So you can see all the information as well as the responses. You'll get your notifications when you have someone requesting a booking. You'll go in and you'll actually click approve or reject. And I would say that's probably the gist of it. There's definitely some drawbacks. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But again, you're only paying $29. So if you are on a tight budget, if you're looking for ways to cut back on the thousands of subscriptions that you're probably paying for, this can be a really great option for the time being, and hopefully fit your needs. There are some availabilities, like I said, for integrations, but I don't really use any of these. I hooked up my Zoom. We have Stripe. SMS is available for the agency plan, which I think it's only like maybe $60 for me to upgrade to this. And again, it's still lifetime. So I'm just going to wait till I actually need it. And because a lot of people come from Calendly, you can import from Calendly. I'm not really sure what gets imported, but maybe I'll try that out. And then we've got some automation capabilities. SendFox is another AppSumo created app or software. And then we have API, which I'm not as familiar with, but eventually I will learn. So for the last thing that I'd like to show you, let's go into booking types. I'll go to my human design beta test, and since I'm logged in, this is where you can have access to the theme editor. So I've selected my primary color to purple. You can change to dark mode, which is nice. You can add a background image, which I have not done. Let's just see what the rainbow looks like. Oh, that's in dark mode. Okay, that's nice. I don't know accessibility wise, but that actually looks really cute. Maybe I'll have to keep this one. Or maybe we'll just do it as, no, that looks worse. Okay. Oh look, we can change the opacity, so that's nice. Okay, I might actually keep that. Okay, you can change your font, which is also a nice feature. Then you can save it. So that's great. Okay, looks like I'm going to be adding some rainbows to all of my backgrounds. But I think that was the last thing that I wanted to share with you. And I don't know if I have anything right now that lets you do multiple sessions. So I guess this is what it looks like when it's disabled. So let's just enable it for the purposes of showing you what this looks like. So we have 1 out of 3, and you can select the time. And then from there, it lets you select multiple options. Confirm bookings. They then fill out their information, and it lets them know that it requires approval from the host. And then let's see if we can get it here, request booking, and then they'll get an email that it has been submitted to be approved, and then they'll get a separate email once it has been approved. And that, I believe, should be everything. So I really hope that this helps you in setting up your business, especially on a budget, giving you different options that you may not have been aware of. And I have not been able to set up, like I mentioned, any of the affiliate links or programs. I got rejected because I didn't quite have the audience or any of the marketing to prove that I would be a worthy investment. So if you do choose to go with TidyCal and you are so happy that you're saving tons of money every month from your subscriptions. I sincerely appreciate any support in terms of helping to subscribe, share, comment, like, and I always provide a tipping link if you would like to make a donation for me to continue to review more products and software and give my honest review as far as whether or not I like it, what the challenges are for me as a small business owner, and hope that this helps you make a more informed decision. So take care, everyone.